I've got a theory. And the theory goes like this. Uncut Gems was so good because Adam Sandler knows what it's like to be in debt to gangsters. He knows a little too well, if you know what I mean. Too well because the Happy Madison Company is really a money laundering front he was forced to use his influence to create in order to pay back the gangsters he was in debt to. Think about it. The movies he makes are small, enclosed movies that only require money for cast and crew, yet their budgets are too large for that. Grown-ups, $80 million. Jack and Jill, $79 million. J'accuse, Mr. Sandler. We watched Orgazmo and Bucky Larson Born to be a Star.
The French champagne.
Can you tell me which members of the Reservoir Dogs you two are currently dressed as?
I'm Mr. Pink.
Sis Blue.
So Miranda hasn't seen Reservoir Dogs.
Secret Nazis.
Yeah.
Secret Nazis.
Classic.
Classic Spielberg.
Classic Spielberg.
He needs to kill 94 different 65-year-old men over 2.5 years because those men's children are all identical clones of Adolf Hitler.
There's like a bunch of other shit that happens in Driven.
Is there?
Shake it! Shake it!
The schlocky movie from this week may be the schlockiest film we've ever seen on this podcast.
The Citizen Kane of the week is...
I almost said Organzo.
Well, awesome. Welcome to Citizen Kane vs. I feel like you really targeted one of the movies in that intro, Sean.
Yeah, it was a theory that I wanted to run away with a little bit. So yeah,
That makes sense. I did make a note while watching Bucky Larson when I fully realized how much involvement he had in it. Adam Sandler, that we should have known.
Yeah,
we should have known way back then. He gave us all the hints way back then where he was going with his career and his producing career and what he was going to be making, and we just didn't listen. We didn't listen.
Nope. And
Dan,
look what happened.
You look consternated. Is that a word?
No, I'm just noticing that the name on my my Zoom chat here has been changed to something I didn't change it to. So
yeah, mine too.
That happened. Yeah.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, Jack apparently has more control than we've agreed to here.
Hey, why don't you welcome us to the show there, Jack?
Okay, fine. Well, again, welcome to Citizen Kane VS. I am Jack Rennie, and I'm joined by my two friends, one,
Sean Jacqueline,
and the other,
Daniel Benoit.
Oh, still with that bit of the flair.
I know it's rough. I don't like it.
It sounds like you're in an audition and someone was like, "Can you just give us a take with maybe exuberant optimism?"
Okay, let me try again. Introduce me again, Jack.
And the other,
Daniel Benoit.
Okay, and we're hitting all the characters. Okay,
How's that?
It's a different
It's
read.
perfect. It's perfect.
It's great.
Yeah.
You know what? It's a workshop. I'll find it. Just give me some time.
Yeah.
So other than workshopping intros on this podcast, we also compare movies that are generally seen as classics to movies that are more on the schlocky side. And we ask ourselves honestly, which is better? So this week we had the classic, according to Dan, but a cult classic, which I agree, which is a funny term.
Definitely a cult classic.
Definitely a cult classic. Orgazmo. Which I had never seen but heard much about. So thank you for finally letting me watch that, for better or for worse. And Bucky Larson, Born to be a Star, semicolon, fuck me, bracket, please make it stop. Close bracket.
Yeah, near I just finished Orgazmo, and about halfway through, I started realizing that I probably owe you guys a bit of an apology this week. I really thought it was going to be more fun than it was.
So
There's lots of fun.
Yeah, Orgazmo, I had some fun in, but then Bucky Larson I watched this morning, and I have never been.
Oh my god!
I have never been. It is the morning movie of the two. Let's be real.
So angry at a group of people for creating something, and it would have been, I think I would have been okay with it if Orgazmo had been better than it was.
you would have been okay with it if Orgazmo was better. But see,
Yes.
don't you think that now the fact that Orgazmo wasn't better, it puts them kind of both on more of an even footing
We'll
for
find
this
out, won't we?
podcast? Yeah, I guess we will. All right.
Yeah, because a word like better for Orgazmo is still a stretch. We'll see, right? But yeah, my thoughts, especially just like talking a bit about generally about Bucky Larson to start, like I also had similar like things that I would just write down once in a while, Sean, where my notes were just like, is this really how they want their movie to start?
Yeah,
With this scene?
immediately offensive.
Is like, and wait, are these the real performers that they got to do it? Is this the movie that you all agreed to make? Like a bunch of people agreed to this. Repeatedly,
I hope
I had
Christina
these
Ricci
thoughts.
fired her agent after that film.
I was like, oh my god, this like Christina Ricci lookalike here, and then at the end I was like, oh, that actually just straight up was Christina Ricci.
You didn't know that it was Christina Ricci until the end of the movie?
I was just like, because I don't know exactly who that is, but I'm like, I think this person looks a lot like Christina Ricci, and then I was
That's
like,
Wednesday Addams, man. How do you not know who that is?
oh,
Casper.
yeah, I never.
Like, not literally Casper, but she was
She
in
played Casper as well.
Did she?
No, man.
I haven't seen that movie since I was like 7. How the fuck am I going to know?
You dummy. And then other things about it of like, just like, I don't know. I'm sorry.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into it, man. It's such a strange movie. And Orgazmo is honestly no different. Like as a pairing, it makes perfect sense.
It was perfect. Erin hated every fucking second of what was happening, and she was like, "These are perfect."
perfect.
Yeah.
they both shared a thing. Bucky probably made it a bit more intense, where every time I did laugh, I like hated myself for it. Like I would laugh and I'd be like, "Oh, Jack, you're such a piece of trash."
I didn't let myself laugh. There were two distinct moments when I thought something was legitimately funny, and I stopped myself from laughing out of pure spite.
Oh, great. I think let's just I think we need to like just start getting these movies against each other. So I say we just start and get into round one. What do we say?
Well, we need the synopsises.
Oh yeah. Well then, Dan, take us there, will you?
All right, here we go. In the red corner, representing the classics, a young Mormon hailing from Utah that accidentally fights his way into the lead role of the most famous pornographic film franchise in history, only to discover his true calling as a crime-fighting superhero, starring Trey Parker as Joe Young, Orgazmo.
Right?
And in the blue corner, representing the schlock, an unfortunate-looking bag boy from Iowa that, after heading to LA to pursue his destiny, literally changes the face of the porn industry with his low stamina and micro-penis. Starring Nick Swartzen and Christina Ricci, Bucky Larson, Born to be a Star.
That's this like one person whisper cheering. Oh yeah. That is when with hearing the synopses of the movies gets me going. Okay, so boy. So round one, story. Let's try and explain the stories sort of these movies. Which movie would, okay, first question, which movie can we say like truly makes more sense? Because even though Orgazmo has like it's clearly, it knows that it's a parody of itself, like at least it knows that, and so maybe Bucky Larson does too, but Orgazmo definitely does. So like when his friend Chota Boy also happens to be like a graduate of MIT in physics and engineering or whatever, that he makes an actual like ray gun that makes people orgasm. I'm like, yeah, sure. But like when when Bucky Larson whips out his dick and starts masturbating at a commercial audition. The fact that the director follows him out and is like,
Yeah.
hey man, let me take you to this, let me bring you to this porn party later in LA. I'm like, not a fucking chance.
No.
Not a chance. I'll take the orgasm ray gun over that any day.
Yeah, because at least that's got some loose science to back it up of like, yeah, he went to MIT, he's super smart, just fucking get over it and accept that.
Yeah.
There is no causation for anyone's actions in Bucky Larson. Things
False.
like
Nepotism.
yeah.
Nepotism. Everybody in the
Severe
porn industry
nepotism.
knows who
Yeah.
Bucky Larson's parents are. And I don't know if
Right.
you guys know the film industry very well, but that is how it works.
How frustrating, as people who have navigated in and around the like acting industry for years now and filmmaking industry, to see it still in this movie, that it's like this like small town guy goes to be a star, and it's still entirely about nepotism and the fact that people know who his parents are. Man, it's also
Hey,
doesn't help this movie.
I would also hazard to say that in a city like I imagine LA to be, I can see it being entirely possible that a not so well-known director might take interest in somebody who has the balls, no pun intended, to whip it out and start jerking off in a commercial audition. He's either crazy or somebody who is brave and has the guts to go far in this industry.
Yeah, okay.
I kind of lost my thread at the end there, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and
no,
it sounds like
you-
the pun was intended, Dan.
Yeah.
Which is what
Oh,
I'm
definitely
totally
was,
stuck
for
on.
sure. For sure.
I'm
I
really
just wanted to
stuck on
find a
that.
way to say
No
no
pun
pun intended.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. You know what? That is also a common thread in Bucky Larson, which is that people just miraculously help him. Because I think we have to get to this really quickly as well, which is that the movie also reads as a full-length porn version of the movie that Ben Stiller portrays in Tropic Thunder, Simple Jack.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like the straw-haired, big-toothed man who's like, you make my eyes rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will
and-
say Bucky Larson is a little more. He's like simple, but not like mentally challenged. Do you know what I mean? There's a fine line there with that character where he's naive and innocent to the point of ignorance, but like still is like a functional human being.
He
you know what I-
brushed his teeth in a pool.
Yeah. I don't think there is any
he
description
had no place to live.
for. There's no description for what Nick Swartzman was. Is that his name? Swartzman.
It's like
Wait,
Swartzen? I don't know. I said it in the
Swartzen?
intro, but I
Swartzen?
didn't. I guessed.
For what he did in that, there's no description for that. It is something he thought would be funny because he used to laugh at the spec ed class. Probably.
Well,
It was
I mean,
awful.
regardless, there are a lot of other characters who, when referring to Bucky Larson, they throw around the word retarded
Oh yeah.
a bunch
Like
in
it's a
regards
football.
to him. So whether or not we think that, people in the movie think that,
Yeah.
and then they get that guy to pull down his pants and come on strangers.
Mm-hmm.
That's the punchline.
Little
is
old
that
ladies.
that it gets on the old lady outside. What?
It's high art, guys. Come on,
What?
catch up.
Like,
It's ahead of its time. Just
Yeah.
wait for the collapse of society. This will be the funniest fucking movie out there. This will be the only movie we're allowed to watch in our 1984 post-fascist totalitarian state.
wait for the collapse, Sean. Where you been? Ew. So Bucky Larson just has so little holding it together. It's really quite impressive that they have Christina Ricci as this love interest. That I was like dreading what the payoff of what that relationship was going to be the entire movie. I was going to be like, this is going to be some weird, well, the romantic payoff is that they have sex and it makes his dick bigger or something, or he's going to be in love.
Three sizes bigger than
yeah. Or
His dick grew 3 sizes bigger that morning.
I thought what was going to happen
the payoff was
was
going to be weird.
I thought
was
what was
really
going to happen
nervous.
was that he was going to be he was gonna have sex with her and then like gain more control over his
not be able to perform,
premature ejaculation and not have his like shtick anymore in the porn industry.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. I also thought a similar. That was my other thought, right? And all of those possibilities made me cringe. While like mid movie, I was like, I hate everywhere where this movie is going.
Yeah.
But they didn't go there. They took it somewhere sweet. It was like an innocent love story, with the exception of the straw condom. That was a bit of a.
Oh man, that
Strondom?
The strondom, yeah, that was rough.
I couldn't believe someone like Adam Sandler and Nikki Swartleberg were. They sat down in a room together with whatever other idiot wrote this film, and they
Like multiple other idiots. It was like Adam Sandler and 2 other people.
And they got really high, and they were like, so like micropenises, and they looked up on Google. They went to Google and they typed in micropenises, and they probably like scoured 4chan for all the stories of micropenises. Now they don't know how to use 4chan, and they thought this would be a funny scene to have a straw cut and melted into a teeny tiny little strawdom, as you called it,
Strondom.
Strondom. And that is what they made people watch.
Daniel?
I mean, I don't know what you want me to say to that. I agree. It was awful.
No, this is where we disagree, Daniel. I've taken my point. You have to argue the other side now. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I thought this was clear.
As the person who enjoyed this movie the most.
Do you think that it would have made more sense, Sean, for him to have a regular size condom? That's just ridiculous.
Oh, damn, he got me.
That was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
No, it was bizarre. It was silly and stupid, and I said the same thing to Marisa while we were watching it. I was like, this is clearly just the first draft of a script that was written while 3 friends were stoned in a basement somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of friends in a basement, one of the earlier scenes with Bucky and his neighborhood friend. Okay.
Yep.
Now, this is a key plot point that I really need answered.
Okay.
How old is Bucky?
Yes, because they say 15 at one point, I think. Like we were going to tell you when you were 15.
Was it?
Absolutely.
No, 50. 50. It was 50.
50?
50.
50. Yeah.
They should have picked
50.
another number because it sounded like 15. And then they were all hanging out in the basement watching this skin flick. And they were all acting like it seemed like, again, I understand why it made me understand why rural people in the States might hate people in the cities because of movies like this. Because I was like, are they dumb teenagers or are they just stupid yokels? And so they talk like people who are borderline, just like mentally not all there. Is that what this movie is? And so one of them is, to the point, one of them is straight up like a 44-year-old in like a little blonde wig.
Yeah.
And he's coaching Bucky on how to. This movie is really weird.
It's just one of the ones that Adam Sandler uses Happy Madison to have he gives his friends paychecks, and like there's a good thing in that. I appreciate someone who takes care of the people he's decided to call friends in a professional way. That's really nice. It's privileged as fuck, but it's really nice. But you gotta not just make this the level, the standard you're going for.
Why is that? Why is it privileged that he
can give that money to people that need it, and not like your friends who can do a sitcom show whenever they need to make a mortgage payment?
People that need it in terms of like other performers, or people that need it like charity?
Like charity.
Or other performers. Just like not to the same rich friends that you have.
Yeah, but that's how everything in the arts works, man. You hire your friends first. But
no, but I'm talking at this level when you have the financial capability to like expand your reach, and if you really are wanting to help people. No, I don't know. I'm not defending or attacking anything here. I said it was a very good intention. It's a privileged intention, but that's what it is.
I feel personally attacked by what you just said,
should.
Sean. As someone who's hired a great number of friends for my own personal lucrative film endeavors.
Yes, but you're not making $90 million.
That's true. I'm not making any dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I'm canceling both of the $90 million that I was going to send each of you
Oh,
for this week's
damn.
podcast. So
Way to go, Daniel.
yeah,
Sorry.
that's what you guys get.
Sean, Jack, I'll put you in a
so.
movie.
Well, $90 back sent your way. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what else to say in the story. The story I liked. I ended up kind of liking the director who takes him on, who I only caught that his name was Miles Deep.
Deep, yeah.
When I heard that 3/4 of the way through the movie, it did make me laugh. That is a funny porn name.
Sure.
That counts. That's at least 1 point. I
But
guess.
it wasn't a laugh. It was like a
It made me laugh, Sean. Okay. Shut up.
Look, there are some golden moments in this movie. The movie itself is absurd, but it's supposed to be absurd. And I think that at the end of the day, it's just like a feel-good love story about a simple guy that finds love and his destiny.
Thank you for continuing your character of point v point kind of thing. Well done.
No, but I mean that. I actually mean that because at the end of that movie, I mean, I started the film. I literally hold on. I literally started the film, and my first note is, "Oh, ... no, ... That was it. But then by the end of it, I have a whole list of likes. I felt really warm. I was on board with him and Christina Ricci just like doing their thing. I thought it was sweet. I thought it was sweet that every character, that like all these side characters in the film are actually trying really hard to just selflessly help Bucky Larson instead of everyone just shitting on him the whole time and him having to like find his own way through it all. I mean, there is Dick Shadow, which is also hilarious, but
it was definitely a contrived way to alleviate any drama or attention. Yes.
Where's your heart, man?
Not at this film. Oh dear God.
Oh, Sean. Oh, Sean. What happened to you? Who hurt you in life?
No, not for this movie, Daniel. Not for this movie. It's not worth it. Let's talk about Orgazmo.
Oh, good. Yeah, let's. Orgazmo has not a better story.
Well, it does. It does because
a-
Orgazmo. I
Daniel
realized.
just has to-
Because I realized at the end of the movie what the movie was, and that is it's an origin story for a comic book villain and superhero, right? Like it's not just a story about a Mormon that goes to that falls into the porn industry. It's a parody
more like
of
Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in that way, it does make sense because it's not meant to be a reality story. It's meant to be like a story.
And Trey Parker and Matt Stone have their universe and their visual aesthetic that they play with and their humor, and it all builds towards the kind of sentiment that the film is giving off. So I think it was pretty effective in being what it was.
Yeah, they kind of straddle that line where even with their live, any movies that they've made that are live or live puppets, all of their stuff, they want to be a cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would kind of put it that way, that even the stuff that's live action.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like even Basketball, the aesthetic of it reads like some sort of Saturday morning cartoon in many ways. So I think this kind of is doing that.
Well, what this movie, I mean, and I don't know what category this would fall into, but what this movie felt like to me was like the origin story of Trey Parker's creative mind. You know what I mean? Like you can see, like, because this was before Basketball, right? This was his first thing.
I think Basketball was like 94 or something.
No, fuck off.
I think so. Daniel, get on it.
I'm on it.
But I know what you mean, Dan, and I think you said something along these lines at some point earlier as well, that like even the Mormon thread, right? Which of course went on to be their big hit with their musical Book of Mormon, right? That it's them playing with a lot of I think probably especially Trey Parker playing with a lot of motifs and stuff that they would go on to continue to utilize. I think even the theme song, which is great,
Yeah.
Then
God,
Yeah.
die.
I didn't realize it was from this film.
Oh my god! Have
But
you heard
I
it
think
somewhere
they
else?
use that I think they use it in
Yeah,
South Park.
they
or
use it in South Park, and also like when this film came out, all my 8-year-old friends saw it and I didn't, so they all played me the song. And I
All
went,
your
"Oh,
8-year-old friends?
yeah, yeah. When I was 39 and they were all 8, I brought them to the theater to see this film. It was a different time then.
we are Sean's only friends who are not 8.
No, but what I mean is the fact that like any 8-year-old is watching this movie is it points to terrible parenting, I think.
No, not at all. Dan,
What do you mean?
you and I were both taken to see the South Park movie when it was in theaters.
Yeah, I was not.
Right, okay, and
And
that
we
was the
were,
same year as
what,
this,
8?
but okay, sure, but my mom did not know what South Park was, and it wasn't built into the name of the movie. What parent is taking their 8-year-old kid to go see Orgazmo?
Best parents, man. That's it.
Anyways, Orgazmo came out before Basketball. It was
Really?
1 year. Basketball was 98 and Orgazmo was
Oh.
97. So to my point, what I was going to say was, it
Interesting.
seems like this is kind of the first experimentation or exploration into live action movies where Trey Parker could kind of see how his ideas translate
Yeah.
into a live action film, because
Yeah,
it's
I'll
more
buy that.
refined in Basketball and continues to get more refined. I mean, South Park gets better all the time, and Book of Mormon, et cetera, but like this movie definitely has almost like a thesis film feel to it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I will say definitively for me that this Orgazmo holds up better than Basketball does. If you're like not by a ton, but I felt
don't
less
know.
icky at the end of Orgazmo than I did at the end of Basketball.
You'd seen it. Yeah, have you seen both? Have you seen Orgasmo before this, Sean?
No, I'd never seen Orgazmo
Okay,
before, and I only watched Basketball for the first time like 2 years ago or so.
Okay, I'm in the same. I'm in very much the same boat. Yeah.
I saw this movie a few years ago, not like when it came out, but definitely when I was a younger
Yeah,
man.
you weren't in the youth group that I brought to the theater.
No. or was I? No, but I remembered this movie being a lot funnier than I found it this time around. I will say that.
Right.
And I honestly don't know if I would have felt that way if I had watched it before Bucky Larson, but also just because the production value in Bucky Larson is so much higher. This movie, I had a hard time getting past like the cheap aesthetic of it, which of course is a different category, but everything about it felt a little flimsy,
Yeah.
including the story, including the script. You know what I mean?
And,
Yeah.
and the writing and
Because there's no
the structure of the story. Although like I could see what the structure was. Like I saw the basic work required because I didn't fully know the movie. Like I kind of didn't. I think I knew it once, but I had forgotten that the movie goes on to him actually taking his Orgazmo porn superhero into the real world. And I saw them kind of laying the groundwork for that when they have the mobsters from the club next door come into the really rough sushi bar scenes that they had.
Oh boy.
With Mr. G Man,
G Fresh.
My God.
G Fresh, the Japanese hood sushi restaurant owner. Oh man. But then when they like sort of reckon up his sushi joint and stuff like that, I was like, oh, they're gonna have Orgazmo like be a real thing. That's pretty funny. Like I could see the work being done. It's not like anything mind blowing. It's like really basic, but like the basic structure is there, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, it should have been way more about that. They should the whole
Totally.
movie should have been the setup of him taking this character into the streets of the real world and becoming this superhero instead of just having it be a decision he makes at the end of the film.
Well, the
And that's what I
you
remembered
said.
it being.
Right.
Right. But I thought when I remember watching it, I thought it was he like trips and falls into this porn job, and then that transitions into a movie about him fighting crime as Orgazmo.
Right.
Yeah.
And it isn't really that at all. It's
Making
it kind of-
pornos by day, fighting crime by night kind of thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or like the opposite. That'd be a funny twist too. If like the schedules were reversed and he had to film at night, like in the evening. So he's always like
just
fighting
fight
crime
crime
like,
as-
in broad daylight. Like, yeah, there seem to be some missed opportunities for sure. Like, just I would have liked to have seen a scene or two or a montage or whatever of him patrolling for crime, like in their outfits, just like walking around the street, like not really knowing how to find crime because crime isn't just like everywhere.
But instead we get this terrible montage of him just shooting random people with an Orgazmo ray.
Yeah, that was rough.
Which is also like along the same lines of inappropriateness of Bucky like coming on strangers as they pass by where they're shooting.
Yep, that happened one time.
Sure.
The rest of the time he's just coming on set decoration.
Right.
And shoes.
And
people who are willing
stylists.
participants in the movie. Yes, but they're all they know what they're signing up for.
I think health and safety would like a word with you, Daniel Benoit. But I also noted with this, and I guess also with Basketball, is it lacks that like centralized theme that every episode of South Park has, and Team America has, and Book of Mormon has. The like thesis statement that they generally try and wrap whatever they're writing around. These films, as you said, Daniel, it felt like you said it was a thesis film to you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I guess the like thesis meaning it was what they are creating to like pass their class or whatever. Yeah, or graduate from.
Yeah, exactly. Or like a better way to put it would be to compare it to something like 1,000 Ways to Die in the West by Seth MacFarlane, where it's literally just like throwing a bunch of the gags you're used to doing in a cartoon at a live action screen and kind of seeing how it translates without having to worry about an actual story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's very much an experiment rather than something they're trying to hone in on with the work.
Well, I think that both of these movies suffer from the classic never getting past the premise part of development, right? Like they had.
I wonder why.
So
that's a great way of putting it.
Well, I mean, any further thoughts, or can we knock this one out of the park? That's not boxing.
Let's just end it. End of round here. All right, so moving on to round number 2.
That's going to cut together great, guys.
It's going to cut together really, really great.
Just like push the silence and like freeze frame the video to like match that.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Let's do like an extra hour of work.
Round 2.
Round
looks
2.
good.
Is it? Yeah, it looks good, right? Yeah. So
yeah, where do you want to start on this one?
Yeah, Dan, you already kind of said that like the overall the overall production value of Bucky Larson is astonishingly way better. It obviously has money behind it. It's a well-made stupid movie, but like everything is clean. It's pretty, it's cleanly made. It's maybe not. There's no really fancy shots or anything like that. It's all really set, but like
there was one fancy shot of a worm's eye view from inside of a paper bag that at the very top of the film when Bucky is still working his day job at the grocery store, which I will say set my expectations kind of high for the cinematography in this movie.
Right. Was that just before or just after watching a man rub peanut butter all over his genitalia so the goats can lick it off?
I think that was just after.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was after that peanut butter dick goat shot that Dan had his expectations set high, is what he's saying.
For the cinematography. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Fucking guys.
Oh, fuck, man.
But yes. So here we are. We have a movie that is utter nonsense, but has a pretty high amount of production value.
Yes.
Up against a movie that
is
looks
designed
like
pretty well. The
is
design
is it designed pretty well?
Like on paper, I can see all that they were writing on paper. The execution, maybe not, but I can appreciate what they were going for with it.
In Orgazmo,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it is a porn film. Like it has that quality the whole way through, which I don't think that's intended. I think that's just how much money they have.
Definitely doesn't seem like a choice. It just
because
looks cheap, like
it
pornos
looks
do.
super cheap. but I'll take cheap. Like I don't mind cheap. You know what I mean?
I don't mind cheap if it is an aesthetic choice, or if they're trying to like establish a certain kind of tone, or if it were clear that they were trying to go for like the entire world is a porno thing, then sure,
It is.
sure.
For the record.
Do you know what I mean? But instead, it was clearly they just didn't have the money. Like the lighting was bad, the cinematography was
the lighting
basic,
was
the
bad.
set design was rough. I mean, I think they shot this thing in like 3 locations in total for the entire movie.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, they had access to someone's like mansion, and then they had like a little apartment set. And that's it.
But we're on looks. Yeah. How good did that drop of jizz look on that old lady, though? I think that the production value in the fake jizz on Bucky Larson that's where the budget went, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looked a lot like shampoo, didn't it?
I don't know.
It's a weird thing to be watching a pretty dumb movie, and then for them to have shots of like jizz on people's clothing, and to immediately go like, doesn't look right.
But that's a conversation that they for sure had. It's not
Absolutely.
Could it be a little thicker? It's not quite. Doesn't quite look like jizz yet.
It might have been an issue with like the censorship, like people that they were like, it looks too real. Like make it look less real. For all we know, I wouldn't be surprised with stuff like that.
Well, it has an 18+ rating, so I'd be surprised if they
yeah.
ran up against censorship issues with
Then it's all
too
good.
realistic of semen.
I think I will also give Orgazmo props for not really exploiting anyone's body more than what you'd expect in a film of this nature. Whereas Bucky Larson definitely takes its moments to be like, look at the boobs.
I was gonna say the same thing actually. I was really impressed that Orgazmo made it through the entire film and without ever showing any real nudity. Like it was clearly a choice to not do that, and that was pretty impressive, especially coming from Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Yeah.
They kept doing the bit where they showed a pair of boobs really early in the movie, which is clearly a choice to be like, is this what they do for a second before the guy's bare ass steps in front right away the first time. And that happens a couple. Yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah. Okay.
It's like in the very first like porn scene we're shooting and he's come in, I think. And then or maybe he's not even there yet. I don't know. But it's
when they first introduced the one with Ron Jeremy, where they first introduced the other Orgazmo.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. So we see.
Are you sure, man?
I'm positive. Yeah.
Jack's like, believe me, I rewound it.
He went,
stop making me
frame
sound certain.
by frame.
You fucking assholes. But I am 100% certain that you do see her boobs, her breasts for a brief moment. But before they have the gag of hairy dude's ass, like not even that hairy, but like a dude's ass step on camera right in front of it. And that keeps happening through various shots. Like for the rest of the movie, that happens like 2 more times where this dude's ass steps in front, which is actually like a fun little counter to the whole like, oh yeah, this is like a movie. You're going to like see all these hot women, guy's ass. Here's a guy's ass in your face. Like,
ooh, yeah.
Sean is looking up the scene right now.
No, I'm not looking up the scene. I think we should just take a moment to recognize that Ron Jeremy is a huge piece of shit and doesn't deserve any recognition for anything he's ever done in his career. So, hey.
Go on.
Well, yeah.
Why?
I could. Let me read you the charges.
Oh, no.
6 counts of sexual battery by restraint, 5 counts of forcible rape, 3. Anyway, it's egregious. He's got like 30 counts of just like him using his power in the sex industry to force women to do things to him. Piece of shit.
Okay, well then we will stop naming him on this podcast. I did not know that.
He's a piece of shit.
Yay.
Well, okay, then by my count. Totally unrelated to what you just said, Sean. Bucky Larson only has one more scene of nudity than Orgazmo does, I think. I think there's only like 2 scenes in Bucky Larson where you actually see topless women.
There's like 2.
And you see a penis, which kind of levels the playing field.
There's 2 that like focuses, but then there's also scenes where like for no reason girls are just Wait, no, is that an orgasm? No, it's in Bucky Larson. The girls in the hot tub in the background who just decide to like start touching each other.
Oh yeah,
At the
But
party.
I think they're still in bathing suits, though, right?
No, it's very very frontal.
Are you sure?
What about the
I'm
ass fuck
100%
twins?
Sure.
Sean,
Said
what about
certain.
what about the ass fuck twins in Orgazmo?
Right. Oh yeah. Well,
Oh man. Well, yeah. Overall, though, to pull us kind of back towards looks, though, there were bits again in the cartoonish type thing of Orgazmo that I really liked. Like I liked that they did a cutaway to dude getting his face kicked in, and they cut to like a pot being broken.
Yep. Or when they're beating up G Fresh in the restaurant and they throw him against the wall and it's clearly just a dummy and they like sit on it for a couple of frames before they cut back to G Fresh.
That was on purpose. That
Yeah,
was
that's
fucking
for sure,
hilarious.
100%, yeah.
That's what makes me laugh.
Well, that's
like
the thing is that Orgazmo clearly like they leaned into the fact that they had no money and that it was going to be a cheap looking movie,
Yeah.
right?
Or like the gimmick when what was Chota Boy's real name? Like or his
Ben Shaplowski or something.
When Shaplowski, when Chota Boy, whatever, when he'd have his flashbacks to when he was giving up hamster style with his dad, and they'd have like a kid, and then the kid was eating like a giant spoon out of a giant bowl, and then when they cut to like Shaplowski being like that same actor being the kid in that flashback, and he still like a giant bowl and like a giant spoon. I was like, just little things like that. Like they made the budget work for that though. They were like, we gotta have that. That's funny. Or someone just had a novelty like bowl and spoon in their house or something. But those were great. It's unfortunately like it undercut it a bit when like they are trying to do like an action sequence and they go into like the club and it's just like a gymnasium and there's no one there. Like it's empty. Like there's not many people in there.
Yeah.
And I know they're working so hard. Like they're working so hard to make it work with what they got, but you can't. Oh man, like
they rented a crane for that day of shooting. I know because it's the only shot that I remember from that movie is the establishing shot of that club scene. Where they like sweep in to find the two of them, and then they have it's like I forget exactly what the camera move is, but I remember watching it being like, oh, I guess someone had a jib. A jib is a crane. Jib is another word for a crane.
Wait, what is it? Guys. Sorry, it's a what?
Jib. A jib.
What?
Another word for a crane.
What is what?
Which is like an arm that you attach a camera to that you can move around.
Sorry, what's a camera?
Oh, a camera is this thing that you use to capture moments of nudity and intercourse for your own personal record.
And that sets the visual aesthetic, which we are analyzing in the looks section of this podcast. I see.
Oh, Sean, thank you.
Wow.
Thank you for that journey.
You're welcome.
That was wonderful.
Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
If we want to talk about the action sequences in Orgazmo for a second,
you know what? Let's actually.
Yeah.
Because, some of them are painful.
The first one with Trey Parker outside of the porn mansion, let's just call it, fighting the random security guards or whatever they are, was better than a lot of action that I've seen in general blockbuster Hollywood nonsense. And Trey Parker surprised me quite a lot.
Those kicks, man.
Dude can kick.
Oh, shit.
Dude
High
can
spin
kick.
kicks. I was like, what is going on?
But if we look at the 45 seconds of fight choreo before they get to Trey Parker, it is like offensive to watch. It's so bad. When the security guard is beating up the what was it? I forget what it is now. It just my brain blacked it out. It was who's he fighting?
His other Mormon friend?
No, it wasn't the guys who were fighting it was the other Mormon friend. Right. When he's threatening to cut his balls off.
Right.
And then he like holds him and he punches him in the face and then punches him in the stomach a couple of times.
Sure.
And it just all looks so clunky and bad. And and most of it in the film looks like that. I will say Trey Parker was very impressive. And the whole like kung fu spin that he was putting on it, those noises he was making as they were coming at him was great.
So if I told you to compare what you dislike about the fights in this film to what is held up as like classic schlock fight in the Batman series from the 60s, like I think that's kind of what they were reaching for with the choreography there. With it's so over the top, it is so fake, but it's just a bunch of people like having fun.
See, I didn't get that. I maybe I can see what you mean during the Trey Parker fight.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing was stylized, kind of like a kung fu movie.
Yeah.
But the stuff that I'm talking about right before that with the security.
Didn't he keep going like, oh?
Yeah. But the stuff that I'm talking about with the security guard just looked like someone who didn't know how to do stage combat.
Mr. Frozen Daniel. Oh, there he is.
Okay, good.
Oh, I was
He's
trying
back.
to talk through the freeze so that when I was cutting it together, it would all flow well, but it's okay.
Right.
We'll just call attention to it, guys. It's fine.
No, it's
Great.
fine. I also, if we're talking about the fights and stunts, the blonde porn actress, I think she was blonde in the gold heels that's standing on the bed and who does a full backwards flip and
Onto
lands
her
on
neck.
yeah.
And then somersaults off the bed. Yeah.
I
did
feel
that
like she
herself,
was a
looked like.
real actress. I feel like
Yeah.
they employed a couple of like porn stars
yeah.
for this movie, and then they brought
Yes.
in a real actor to do that character.
Yeah. I also kind of applaud them for like actually just getting some porn stars and being
Yeah.
like, you want to be in this movie? Including, this fits in, I don't know what category. So the very large woman who comes in and
T-Rex.
straddles him. She,
I
T-Rex.
fucking died.
That's right.
at this part.
she is in the credits as the fat lady stripper, like as her name.
Ooh.
So kudos to them for just like employing the sex workers of this world. Kudos.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. My computer froze there for a second. Who was that woman?
She's in the credits as the fat lady stripper. That
And
like as her
and
name.
for that, you're applauding the film.
I'm saying kudos for just hiring sex workers in your movie about sex work.
Yeah.
Kudos.
Do we know that she is an actual sex worker just because?
Oh, I think she's a stripper named the fat lady stripper.
Oh, that was her name
Oh,
next to
she was-
T-Rex.
T-Rex was played by the fat lady stripper.
Ah, gotcha.
Good shit. Good shit.
See, I sometimes wonder though in movies like this if that is an attempt on their part to just like hire sex workers, or if it's more so that they have a hard time finding regular performers to play these roles. And
Yeah,
it's just
bits of both.
it's easier to have a porn star come in and just do it because they're comfortable with the material.
And in how many episodes of South Park is that exact character just in there somewhere doing something?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
the choice to use his South Park voice for that character, I fucking howled. And there's a point where she comes back, like that scene is played back on a TV screen or something later
Yeah.
in the film.
Yeah.
And both times I like rolled off my couch laughing. I thought it was so fucking funny.
His fiance has like just watched it or something, or she just stormed out and he sits down and it's still playing and that's what's on.
Oh yeah.
Funny.
Oh
It's
yeah.
fucking funny.
You're gonna make me come or I'm gonna kick your butt.
Yep. So, but the other fight scenes are pretty rough. Some of them, like the stuff I kind of not admired, the fuck, I appreciated that the fights in the porn scenes themselves were like so deliberately bad that like people would fall the opposite way to punches and stuff like that. Like it was terrible and like clearly no one cared.
Yeah.
I thought that was fine. The other fights later in the movie were just weird. And the guy they bring in, the dude's nephew, the director's nephew,
Yeah.
just his pseudo kung fu and throwing farts in people's faces thing was just, oh man, like very unpalatable overall.
Incredibly.
100%. And this is maybe a better note for a later category, but the scene where we first meet him, I loved him. He got unpalatable, as you say, very quickly, but I was so on board with his character when we first meet him, and he's just telling about how he's the new neutered man, and Orgazmo is done, and every so often he's throwing in like a jaw, and it was just so funny. I thought it was fucking great. The guy was great, the actor who did that part, but the character was disgusting and unwatchable.
Yeah, counterpoint.
No.
Fight.
Counterpoint. No. Yeah, I thought that guy was terrible overall.
Well,
The character and the actor, like I thought they were all just bad.
We're in the acting. We're in looks right now, guys. We got.
Any other thoughts on looks? I mean,
nope.
No, there's not really much to say about Bucky.
No,
So-
it was a film that had lights that lit things, and you saw the things that were lit.
yep.
I mean, I would give it a little more credit than that. It's a pretty clean looking movie. It's
Yeah,
not just we
it
threw a
was
light
a-
on something and the
No,
movie was done.
that's not what I mean by that. I mean it was a big budget film that lit things, and you saw the things that they lit.
I will say this. Here's the final point that I would like to make, which is that the fact that Bucky Larson is so cleanly made is actually not beneficial to the content of the story.
Cleanly
Because
made?
like it's so like it clearly has the budget to be
Oh, I see.
professionally
Yeah,
done,
yeah.
and that actually doesn't serve the movie itself, in my opinion. Like
I
there is
disagree.
because because you have stuff like you have Orgazmo, and I'd even put things like not Bill and Ted's, but Jay and Silent Bob and stuff like that. And those movies that like they have that like just enough of a budget thing that it helps it, like to me it for my liking, it serves the narrative of like this joke of a movie where like there in no way should this be seen as like other movies you're going to see in any regard. Whereas Bucky Larson, because it's like cleanly made in that way and it has a high production value, it's like, so is this supposed to be a good movie?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas I think it actually served it better if it had less budget and it looked a bit shittier and it was clearly meant to be like just like a joke of a movie, but it's not.
But I don't think it's meant to be a joke of a movie. I mean, it's meant to be a comedy, but I think it's also meant to be like a feel good kind of love story movie. In which way I think that the production value actually serves it pretty
Daniel,
well.
we really need to talk about why this movie made you feel good.
What do you mean? What do you
Like,
mean? Everybody
What
is
do you mean,
kind.
what
I
I
mean, there's people
mean?
who are super mean to Bucky for sure, but it's okay. The content is fucking ridiculous, but it is. It also kind of takes place in like an idealized world where a guy like Bucky Larson can find
it doesn't.
success, fulfill his destiny, find love with a beautiful woman like Christina Ricci. It's all it's.
I
which I'm not saying
gonna
can't
bring
happen.
up. I was going to bring up that movie takes place in nowhere time. Their parents grew up in the 70s. This was 2011, and Bucky's supposed to be like 18, I guess. That timeline's a little weird. The telephones in everyone's home are from like 1984. And also the porn director is using a film camera that was like probably used in the 60s, I'd imagine.
Which he
based on
references
its
as
design.
I just got a vintage camera that I want to try out.
Vintage camera, but then he is immediately looking at the edits on digital on his flat screen computer, and I just
right,
have
because
no
he was
idea.
using a vintage camera to shoot in
Yeah.
a time where we have computers.
But how do you extract from the film? Are there?
You
I guess
can convert. You can convert stuff.
would a porn director have access to that technology?
One in Hollywood might. One who used to be a big time director might.
Okay, Daniel, you win this point. I still don't know when this film takes place.
That doesn't matter
How
to me.
old is Bucky Larson? You just said he's
Yeah.
18, but I don't
I
know.
assume
if
he's
that's
at least
true.
18, right?
He must legally be at least 18, but how
But
much?
also, it's
Is
not
he
above.
30?
It's not above this film to make him 16 and make the whole film be about like, look at this kid who got to go to Hollywood and become a porn star. Anyways, we should move on.
End of round.
Sure.
End of round here. So, moving on to the next round. Sound good? Sound good? Oh, so This one for me is more cut and dry. Just because Bucky Larson, like we were just talking about, has better production value. It's pretty clean. Oh, but the theme song of Orgazmo is better than anything in Bucky Larson.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's kind of undercut by just like the cheap porn music they use throughout the film.
I thought that was hilarious.
Oh no, it's not.
Theme song.
Maybe it would have been funny in the 90s before that whole like cliche porn music was played out and was a cliche, but
I think they're using it because it's a cliche.
Oh, maybe you're right. I still hated it.
That's fair. The main sound note I have for Orgazmo is the nephew guy. What's his name? His character name? Whatever. When he gives his little fart bombs, there's no fart sound. He just reaches back weirdly. I did not hear a fart sound.
They're little squeakers, but they're there.
I did not hear
Part
it.
of me would appreciate if you also couldn't hear them. That it's just like an empty moment of silence where it's just a physical.
I wanted a ripper. I wanted each one to be
those
a good
ones,
rip.
but the loud ones are usually the ones that don't smell as bad. It makes
but
more sense
wasn't
that you
sure what
wouldn't
he
be
was
able to
doing.
hear it.
I couldn't hear it. And suddenly he's just reaching back, and then he's bringing forward, and then it was very awkward.
Sean, can you honestly sit there and tell me that you didn't know what that gag was? You didn't understand
Sean,
what he was
even
doing?
I'm kind of like, come on, dude.
I thought it was
Sean.
awkwardly done. I wanted a fart sound.
We are pseudo-professional film critiquers, and we would like a fart sound, please.
Excuse me, Trey Parker, Matt Stone. More fart sounds.
So
it does seem there were
3
fart
out of
sounds.
5 stars for lack of fart sounds. Any other sound notes? Like I honestly don't. Like there's not much I can say.
I don't remember any sound from Bucky Larson.
I have one
except
note
for his
Oh.
except for his accent,
Oh dear.
which I found kind of
dear.
endearing.
Oh, Daniel.
I had a lot of fun
buddy.
in that movie. I know you guys
Buddy.
hated it, but I had way more fun than I thought I was going to with Bucky Larson.
I didn't hate it as much as I wanted to. I will give it that much.
Me
But there
too.
were at
I
least
thought
a
I was
few
going
moments. Like I said, I enjoyed the guy who played Miles Deep. I thought gave actually quite a good performance and grounded the movie like a little bit. Like I have to admit that. Well, shut up. But and that kind of stuff. But anyway, whatever. Then I'll save it.
Save it for the
I'll
round.
save it. I also think there's some funny ADR moments. I think they ADR'd the old woman with her teeth out.
Yeah.
But that is fine with me. I also appreciate maybe a moment that gave me some optimism for the movie, Dan, shortly after your moment, was when they allowed like 6 back and forth takes of them just smiling at each other and her with no teeth. I was like, this movie might get some funny things because that's the right choice. Like the good choice. But not much. Sean, sorry, I interrupted
Yeah,
you.
no. The only real sound thing I noticed in Bucky was when they're at the Adult Video Awards and they were sitting and someone's applauding. There's an applause break, and the like owner of the porn distribution company guy, he goes to applaud, but I guess he's wearing a lav, and that's what they're using in that scene for him. And so he doesn't bring his hands together while he's applauding, and it's just him sitting there going, and it looked ridiculous.
Well, great. Good eye. That's really hard to catch.
I've never seen someone not clap like that. So
It really stuck out.
yeah. Well,
Dan, any words of wisdom here? Like, I don't know what else to say.
I liked the idea of making the sound for the Orgasmatron with your mouth in the pornos, where he would just point at people and meow, meow, meow.
was it a cat meow?
It was just him. It was just him meowing at people.
When he had the prop, when he was not like the real Ray.
Yeah,
but like
no,
the fake one, he'd just go like, he's like, yeah, I zap you. Meow, meow, meow.
Oh man!
But what was the sound of the actual Orgasmo raid?
It was very annoying, and I repressed it. I think.
It was also a bit like subversive, right? Though it wasn't like it was like
Yeah, no, it was
weird.
Okay, while we're talking about was it the Orgasmatron, the Orgasmo what was it called?
The Orgasmerator, I think.
okay.
Great. While we're talking about this, let's just double back to story for a second, and I want to really talk about why a machine that gives you an instant orgasm would be a bad thing or a weapon.
Because it would render you unable to defend yourself.
Only momentarily, and not
depends
really
how good it is. I think.
Maybe for you, Daniel.
Yeah.
I, a real man, I'm rendered. Anyway, for
Go on.
years, I can't say that.
Ooh, that sucked.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. But yeah, I mean, when Ben is getting his test shots in the basement, he's fine. Like
pumped.
5 seconds later, he's pumped. He loves it.
Yeah.
So I guess it makes sense for the very final scene where he shoots the guy so many times that his testicles almost explode. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense as a stretch, but yeah.
But
like
it seems pretty inefficient having to use it so many times on the same person, you know?
There's like a sort of implication that it's giving people like a really big, like uncontrollable orgasm. That it's like not just like your standard orgasm, but one that like is a bit more like body convulsive
Yeah.
and explosive.
Yeah.
Seems to be the implication. They don't really say that. And so you could maybe justify that Chota Boy is like, he says he has a
Chota
crazy
Boy.
sex drive. So when he gets hit a
He
bunch
can
by
take
it,
it.
that he's like, yeah, like, woohoo, perfect for me. But
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
But, yeah.
And that ends round 3. 4? 3.
Three.
Sounds good. End round here.
perfect.
Round 4.
So, round 4. Another
ding, ding,
sound
fuck.
here. Ding ding. Shake it. So round 4, act good. Now this one I feel torn because I have to admit, like, at this point already, that like if it wasn't clear already, like I definitely have a bias towards Orgazmo because I'm like a fan of Trey Parker and Matt Stone. I'm a big fan of their work. And just like I think who they are as people is really funny and admirable in certain ways. But I mean, but
Say it, Jack.
the acting is bad. Everyone's really bad. It's bad everywhere. The guy who is the director is just
so bad.
fuck. He is bad.
Robot.
But I will say, when he first came on screen, I was like, oh dear God, please no.
He kind of gets better, right?
He doesn't get better, but when you see the movie through like the origin story of the supervillain, we're kind of watching a live action cartoon thing.
Yeah.
It makes a bit more sense why he's so fucking over the top and unbearable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, it's still unbearable.
But I
though.
get the choice. I guess
Maybe, yeah.
still bad. I'm with you. I agree.
Whereas,
Orgazmo.
Yeah.
Whereas Bucky Larson definitely has acting in it. It's acting that's not great, but there
Oh.
are people,
Does.
there are some people who did fine performances. The guy who played the roommate, that actor who I recognize, was actually not bad.
Oh,
He was
Kevin
pretty funny.
Nealon. Yeah, Kevin Nealon's great.
Oh, I couldn't stand him in this movie.
Did
He
we
had,
watch the
one or
opposite
two-
movie? How did you?
He had one or two
Man.
like funny gags, but generally as a character, I found him insufferable.
Right.
Well, yeah, because he's a
Yeah.
dick, but like his performance was accurate.
The moment,
it's good.
when Bucky is sobbing in his room, and he kicks the door in and is like, "Did you eat one of my grapes?"
Are you crying because you ate one of my grapes? You piece of shit.
Or I didn't like that the movie ended on him. I thought that was just "You're just like John Mayer" is the last line of the film. Boo.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah,
But,
the ending in general was
rough.
Rough.
I thought Christina Ricci was good mostly. There were a few moments where I had to be like, "Oh, okay," and just bite my tongue and get through.
But she did like the sweet, innocent, small town girl in a big city thing well. And
I have to say that yes, I'm going to agree that one movie has people acting and trying to act, and the other is Trey Parker and Matt Stone and like their friends just putting on a silly movie play.
Mm-hmm.
But they made me laugh and gave me joy through what they did, and the other movie made me hate myself.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I would. That's a lot, but I mean, I actually, again, I just said that like earlier that I kind of had similar things when I laughed at Bucky Larson. I was like, oh, I'm a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
But I would argue because I agree with that in some ways, but for me, it was the way in which it was done for Orgazmo. Like it was the story and it was the aesthetic charm of it and stuff like that made it have that appeal. It wasn't really performances necessarily. There were some fine comedic performances, like still in a pretty like hacky way, but that's the vibe. There were unfortunately still some like just like really outstandingly bad performances, like in Orgazmo. Again, the guy like G Fresh was, I just couldn't with G Fresh.
Real bad. The gangsters were bad.
The gangsters were like, there's a lot of stuff that was just like not even, it didn't pay off as humor.
Yeah.
It was just really bad acting.
Yeah. Yep.
Whereas like, I can't deny that at least Bucky, like even Nick Swartzen or whatever is like
Schwarzenegger
is acting that terrible role. Like he is playing it and he's pretty committed to it and he's pretty consistent.
Very committed to it. But does that make it like, does that make it good?
Look,
it makes it good acting.
It means objectively.
Whoa. Don't go that far, bud.
Easy. It's definitely not good acting. It was definitely committed. Like,
hold on. If we're talking about somebody who is realizing a character, whether you like the character or not, it's good acting.
No, he's bad.
I would
think
argue
so.
that it is the base of that. It is just, I can acknowledge that it's acting.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, man.
That's as far as I would.
He is putting
give it.
on a character, and that character is not good.
Yeah. Yeah. Assuming a character does not mean good acting.
No, but
it means acting.
Fully realizing a character and like being committed to moments that are believable. I think
that's where we differ. That's where we differ right there. There is no believability in this film.
I'm not talking about the concept. I'm talking about like watching his character experience things in the moment.
You believed anything he did? Daniel. Shame on you.
I mean,
shame on you.
I will not be shamed.
Shame.
No,
he's ding-dinging you, Dan.
Shame.
I was doing the shit like from Game of Thrones, the shame bell.
Oh.
I didn't mean there are too many bells now.
Oh, ding.
This is where I'm going to CGI my head onto a naked man's body while you shame me.
Onto like Cersei Lannister's body.
Yeah.
We'll get sued. Don't use that.
Right. I'll use Peter Dinklage's body.
Dan. Yeah, Peter Dinklage. There we go.
Sure.
I just can't. I also just can't agree. Like I see someone trying to play a scene, but the scenes themselves had little to no grounding. It's all too ridiculous. Like I could never take it really seriously. You know what I mean? In any way. The movie was too
I don't think you need to take it seriously. No one's asking you to look at this movie as
I don't mean it
like a mirror being held up
way.
to reality or society. It's a fucking movie about a dude with a micro dong changing the porn industry.
But they have to earn that. They have to earn that silliness, and they do not put the effort in to do that.
Fair. I'm not going to sit here and say that this is
this film
by any means a revolutionary piece of cinema. I'm just saying you got to give it a bit more credit than you're giving it, because it was surprisingly not as bad as
the credit that I would give it is that, and this like in a way still pains me to say, Nick Swartzen's performance as the protagonist Swiddlehammer was
Nikolai Schwarzer.
Yeah, Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
Yeah.
There you go. I wish. Can you imagine him in this role?
I do wish. I wish for him all the time. Yeah. His performance was better than Trey Parker's. Do you know what I mean? Like
That's all. That's all I want.
It was a performance. It wasn't good, but Trey Parker, he has that unfortunate thing where he can't perform it. He can only be Trey Parker, just kind of like just flip flopping around and like it's just like it's never
but
even
I want
remotely
that-
close to what I'd call acting.
I'll take that over anything that Nikki Schwittelblum.
Oh,
can
I'll
do.
take it more,
Yeah.
but I have to say that it's not, the acting isn't stronger. Even those two people, and overall in the movies, like I just can't.
Sometimes, okay. I think I'm just going to disagree with you based on I think that sometimes not acting is better than people acting.
Okay, fine.
That's
whatever.
such a bullshit thing to say, Sean.
How is it a bullshit thing?
That's
It's
a
fucking
bullshit
correct.
thing to say.
Yeah, okay.
You say that when somebody is like just like sitting there and stoically saying words. You don't say that when someone is just being a fucking caricature. Bad acting is not acting.
He's just like, look, I'm just saying sometimes a blank screen is better than things on a screen in terms of movies.
Yes.
No, it's
100%.
No, it's
100%.
No.
Sometimes, absolutely.
But
I'd
for
watch
whole
paint
movies, so you would watch. I mean, I don't
You
want to ask you
watch
this
paint
question.
dry?
I was gonna say,
dry. Yeah, I'm not going any further than that because I'll ruin the rest of the podcast.
yeah. But I was gonna ask you if there are movies that you would rather watch a blank screen than watch certain movies, and I was like, oh, I know you're gonna answer yes, but
Oh, definitely.
a blank
probably.
screen for 2 hours you would stare at instead of like a really bad movie.
Like what color blank?
Just standard black
Black.
off television screen. It's off.
You're staring at just an off TV screen for 2 hours.
For 100 minutes.
And you're not allowed to distract yourself with any external noise.
You wouldn't rather watch Bucky Larson?
No, that's an easy no.
Shut the fuck
That's an
up, Sean.
Easy no.
That,
What are
you're,
you talking about, man?
that's such
No.
bullshit, man.
I don't need to be entertained by that. I can stare at something. If those are my choices. Anyways.
All right. Sean's made his stand here. That's fine. I say fucking end of round here. So final round, round 5, rewatchability.
We don't have a round 5.
No, we
Jack.
don't have a round 5. Second week in a row.
Oh yeah. Hey.
We'll get there, guys.
I
The
guess we
audience
get there.
listening will eventually understand how our own
But
podcast works.
we do have a lightning round.
Oh, we have a lightning round.
We do have a lightning round.
Okay. I'll get my timer up here. I got it. So how we do it now is that we actually do a lightning round, and it's 2 minutes long, and we just say stuff. And I think we can give even less context. We really try to explain stuff. Just say, I liked this, I didn't like that. These are our
Sure.
likes and grapes from these 2 movies. Is everyone ready?
Yeah.
Yeah? Sean, you got one? Okay, ready?
Yeah.
We're going to go Sean, Dan, Jack. So starting
Great.
in 3, 2, 1, go.
Dislike casual 90s homophobia.
It's called the gripe. Like God's sign to Trey Parker to not do porn and his just complete ignoring of it. It's an earthquake.
It's an earthquake. I liked that Bucky Larson's parents were supportive of him in the sex work industry. I enjoyed that.
The stunts and fights.
Okay. And I liked Bucky Larson riding off on a horse to go win back the love of his life.
I liked seeing Steven Dorff again. Haven't seen that guy since Blade, so good to see again Steven Dorff as Dick Shadow.
Gripe. Everything.
Like Bucky Larson's uncontrollable chimp orgasm.
I mean, a little bit of a like as well. Also, that Trey Parker let that dog hump him for so long for all of those shots of him getting humped by a dog. Good job, Trey.
Like the line, I don't use fetish cheese, I use Velveeta.
Like the shot of the film marquee where Orgazmo is playing side by side with Citizen Kane.
Gripe that Christina Ricci's character watched the Paperboy movie that he made. No, it's fucked up, man.
She's supportive.
Right.
but-
The failure to reuse the line "Don't quote Dickens to me" after "God bless us, everyone."
Like the black stunt cock bit.
I found the hamster style bit with the. Okay, there it is.
Oh, that was
There we go.
That was good. That was good.
that was good.
I was just gonna
Also,
say
like Pulp Jesus.
Pulp Jesus.
Oh, I have that down too.
Yeah. But just to finish my line thing, the music that would play when he started going into his hamster style recollection with the candles in his shrine, I was on board right away.
Yeah.
Way better. I think we're honing in.
Yeah.
We're honing in. Thanks for
Killing
accompanying us as we hone in on our lightning round after all these years. I'm guessing
All
we've been
these-
doing this for years now.
It's been a week since the Capitol riot, so about 5 years. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now we can finally get into our ratings on these movies and decide which one of these masterpieces is the real Citizen Kane of the week. So, starting with story. Sean, you seem to have the most fervent belief of hatred around these movies, or one of them in particular. How would you
sure
score these
do.
movies?
Well, for story, I am gonna go for Orgazmo. I think it's actually a more delineated story than Bucky Larson is, and there is actual motivation for things to happen.
Mm-hmm. Dan?
I think I have to say the same thing. I think it's just a more creative plot line. I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say that the execution is fantastic, but I think that if we're talking just general premise, yeah, it's got to go to Orgazmo.
I would also say Orgazmo. Even though like the writing is dumb in both these movies, as I said, some of the writing in Bucky Larson really makes me hate myself. Like,
Yeah.
it can be soul crushing at times when you hear some of the things that they say. And
Is
what
there
they
a
do.
self-help group for people who have seen this film? There's got to be.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's called like the Bucky Larson Recovery Center, Born to be Reborn or something.
Yeah. Next.
Work in progress.
So there we go. So looks good. Looks good. This one, Sean, you go first again.
Again?
Yeah,
Make Daniel go first this time.
Dan, go first this time.
Well, my vote's easy. It's Bucky Larson.
See there.
Simple. No questions asked. This Bucky Larson 100. Like, there's no way you can say that Bucky Larson doesn't look better than Orgazmo. Better lighting, better cinematography, higher production value.
It's so boring what it's lighting, right? It's so boring what they're lighting. I don't care what I'm looking at. in that
The
film.
stuff
I'm gonna
that's
cut you out.
being lit
No,
in
it's-
Orgazmo is actually not that much more exciting.
It's got to be Bucky Larson. It's got to be.
Fine, I'll go with Bucky Larson.
Suck it, Sean.
We broke him. His weakness finally revealed to us. All right. So that point goes to Bucky. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Jack, go first.
I want to say Orgazmo, and I want to say Orgazmo almost entirely for the theme song, because it's the only thing I'm going to remember sonically from either of these movies. And overall, I remember some of the musical choices, those cliche things, like it made me laugh. There's nothing like that in Bucky Larson. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing.
Daniel, what is the something?
Nah, I don't have it. He's
Nothing.
I was trying to formulate an argument for it because I really want to give Bucky as many points as I can here, but it's true. I mean, I couldn't tell you. You know what? I want to fight for the underdog here, okay? Because I actually kind of enjoyed that movie, and you guys are really fucking being buzzkills about it. So I want to go Bucky, but I also have to be a fair critic here. and say, yeah, Orgazmo. Theme song is great. I'll be laughing in my head to myself over the T-Rex gag for a long time.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, man, Orgazmo gets it.
Yeah, same. Orgazmo.
Great. So acts good. Act good. I think I made myself pretty clear on this one in that I have to give this one to Bucky Larson. There is acting in this movie as opposed to like essentially Team America puppets in human form that we saw in Orgazmo. So I gotta say,
interesting take. What say you, Sean?
Oh, I'm sticking to my gut. I'm going with the purpose of acting is entertainment, and if someone's acting is not entertaining, but someone's not acting is making me enjoy myself, I have to go with that. So Orgazmo.
Sean, it's not acting. It's bad acting.
It made me enjoy it, and I liked it. And I did not like anything in Bucky Larson that was presented. Maybe a little bit of Miles Deep. Maybe a little bit of Miles Deep.
Look, Sean, I don't think I'm going to change your mind, but I definitely differ in why I would say Bucky Larson. And just in terms of the definition, I support acting that serves like the overall goal of the project, not just necessarily entertainment. And so there's acting that I think does not serve the overall goal of Orgazmo and how just like blatantly bad it is. I think it actually detracts from what that movie could be. It could be even better if it had even people who were like just a bit more capable of doing a schlocky performance well.
Sure.
Whereas there are performers, I would say, in Bucky Larson who, despite its many flaws, mainly in its story and its writing and its premise and its design and its overall choices and production, there are performers who actually help pull that movie closer towards a watchable product, and I give my credit to them.
All right. I counterpoint it. Yeah, you drop your expensive mic. And I would say yes. I think, yes, good acting serves the project, but the ultimate goal of the project is enjoyability. It's entertainment. And if that is not there, then the acting is not doing that either. And I enjoyed Orgazmo as a whole, and you know my sentiments on the other one, so it's got to go to acting. Or to Orgazmo. Daniel.
Bucky Larson. No further comment needed.
All right, well, we got a rewatchability all tied up. Yeah.
Before we decide here, I have to ask, because this is rewatchability / enjoyability, and I have to ask what your girlfriend's experiences were watching these movies with you.
Not great.
for either one?
Erin was working while I watched Bucky Larson, but she was like, she could hear what was going on. Do you want to come give them your thoughts, babe? Oh, special guest star, Erin Maxfield.
Erin Maxfield.
Yeah, that movie was the worst fucking piece of shit I've ever seen.
From the mouths of babes. Jack, do you have mic problems? Did dropping your mic break your
broke
mic?
His microphone.
Oh no. Well, can you switch to your headset, I guess? Daniel, go while Jack tries to figure it out.
Yeah, Marisa. Okay, so Marisa is somebody who has the uncanny ability to fall like headfirst into any movie you show her. It is remarkable, and she couldn't watch Orgazmo. She just couldn't do it.
But she could watch Bucky.
She cried at Bucky. That moment where
we have to get you out of there. We have to like get you into an education camp. We have to
an education camp. Fuck you, man. Yo, that scene where Bucky gives her the tray with the inscription on it.
Okay, that was sweet.
It was okay. So then, thank you. You're acknowledging there were some heartwarming moments in this movie.
Completely drowned out by goats licking a man's peanut butter dick.
Oh, it happened in the beginning. Get over it.
It's still part of the film. It's still part of the film.
There's something called a story arc where you start at one place.
You don't
and
see
end
that
up
man
somewhere
again.
Better.
Are you saying that city America is better than rural America, Daniel?
Don't make me comment on how good America is in general.
Okay. So city people, in your estimation, based on your comments here today, city people are better than country people, Daniel?
How do you get that from me saying that
I'm
the movie
just
gets
inferring.
better?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
What I'm
Jack?
saying is the movie has a lot more to offer than just goats licking a farmer's testicles.
Hot take,
I think Jack
hot
is gone.
take. Can you hear me now?
We can.
Okay, great.
Can
I
indeed.
I have no idea what just happened with this, but it just stopped working when I did that very light tap of it as for a mic drop bit.
Oh, no.
And with no payoff.
Oh,
So
dear.
we'll figure that out afterwards.
Now it sounds like we're like calling you in for an interview. You're like a
Yeah.
specialist in some field or an expert. And we've
How do you feel about mac and cheese?
I don't use that kind of cheese. I use the other cheese. I forget
Ah,
that.
yeah.
Miranda was also moved by the tray scene. I chastised her, but she was still moved.
Good.
I tried.
It's sweet as shit.
So I think that wraps up the points, though. We're saying acting.
Yeah, we're already into enjoyability. That's why I asked the question, because I
right,
wanted
right,
to
right.
know
Okay,
great.
how much your
I've
girlfriends enjoyed these movies.
I see.
Right.
And have any points been given? I've been away, guys.
No.
No.
I was just drawing out Daniel's clear bias towards city people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we know that.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. To say that I don't have one would be a lie.
Yeah. Orgazmo.
Orgazmo.
What? Guys,
What is this a surprise to you?
can my vote somehow count for 2 votes?
Absolutely not.
Can I vote for me and Marisa? Can we just be like a team vote this week?
No.
Damn it. Fine.
All right.
Fucking fine.
So with 5 votes, or well, 3 votes to 2, the Citizen Kane of the week is
Oh, you make me so hot!
Orgazmo.
By a very tight split decision, by the way. Yay.
All right, I think I figured out what happened with my mic. Give me a second. You have to talk for a
Okay.
second.
So Daniel, what are your weekend plans?
Oh, just I'm gonna go see some friends. I know some people who are having a house party.
Cool.
So I'm gonna do that this weekend.
Is it like a makeout party? Is it like a spit on each other kind of party?
Yeah.
Got it.
I mean, it's. Oh,
Nice.
okay, good. I didn't
All
have
right,
to
he's
drag that
back.
joke out any longer.
Joke?
So, oh yeah, we're all getting together real soon to have a big old celebration.
Spit party.
We're gonna storm the Canadian capital. Actually, oh shit, I shouldn't make that joke.
You definitely shouldn't say that.
Whoops.
No, we're
Great.
not doing that.
So
We're not doing
CSIS
that.
and 12 FBI satellites have now honed in on this Zoom chat.
Can we ADR that in the episode? Be like,
Sure.
oh yeah,
just send
we're
me
gonna
another clip afterwards.
Ride a good hot guy. Yeah.
if you can just take that clip and put it. Okay, so Sean, you have some clips for next week, do you not? Or some movie picks
Some
for next
choices. I have some
choices.
picks, yes.
Do you have some clips for next week too? Can you like prepare some things that we can?
It's
air next
actually
week?
just my demo reel. I thought I'd play that here, and hopefully the exposure that this podcast gets will earn me fame and fortune.
This fight demo reel too.
Yeah, yeah. All you podcasters here is
Yeah, very Trey
Anyways.
Parker.
the movies. I'll need your help on one of them.
Okay.
But for absolutely goddamn sure, we're going to the animal kingdom next week.
Oh.
So for absolutely sure, we're doing the 1933 classic King Kong, and
Holy shit.
it is going up against, and this is what I need your help for, gentlemen. Are you feeling vertical, valuable, or extreme for next week?
What?
I'm feeling pretty vertical.
Vertical, Daniel?
I'm feeling pretty fucking extreme.
Extreme. Oh.
Vertical.
I think, okay, let's go with, okay, so it's going to be King Kong going up against the, I think, late 90s, early 2000s film, Most Vertical Primate. Have you never heard of the MVP series?
Oh, most vertical primate.
Yeah.
Isn't it a Disney movie?
I don't know.
Aren't they? They're like of the same ilk as Air Bud and stuff, right?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
no, Sean! No,
Yes.
Sean! Please, no.
That's the one about skateboarding. Because the most valuable one is about hockey, and the most extreme is about snowboarding. So it's not too late.
Are they all kids'
The vertical
movies?
one is a skateboarder movie.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. It's about a chimp that skateboards.
We did have a talk though, right, about picking these.
King Kong versus a stupid kids film.
All right, great. I mean, I'm down.
Yeah. Daniel's gone. Bye,
Yeah,
Daniel.
I'm back.
There
I'm
he
back.
is.
I'm so curious what these other potential movie choices were. Was one of them just the Peter Jackson King Kong?
No. It was like I was going to do one of the MVP series because there's 3 films about a chimp that does things.
But we
And
picked
they're
the
all
one.
in the-
But
So
the
you
one
picked
that,
the middle
the
one.
which is the skateboarding one.
Yeah, most vertical. The first one is a hockey playing chimp, and the last one is a snowboarding chimp.
I want the skateboarding one for sure.
Yeah,
I
most
want
vertical.
I want a movie for someone closer to my age group.
No.
Okay. Well, then
Every once in
let's
a
go with
while.
MVP.
This might be way. If you really liked Bucky Larson, this movie might be perfect for your age group.
Bucky Larson was an R-rated film about porn, you son of a bitch.
Written
Ford-
by 13-year-olds.
Yeah, it's clearly for
No.
13-year-olds.
Maybe. What year was MVP? What year did MVP come out?
Oh, they're,
Just so I know that I have the right one when I'm trying to find
I
it.
just search most vertical primate because they're the 2 others, and they'll confuse you.
Are they all
Well,
just
there you
called
have
MVP?
The first 2 are MVP, and the last one is MXP.
Most extreme primate
Extreme.
because of the snowboarding.
Yep.
Like
Oh,
half
done.
pipe. Like is it?
Wait,
did
so
he-
most vertical primate is the sequel about
Yeah, it's the second
chimps.
film, but they all
About
have
skateboarding
identical
chimps.
about sport playing chimps. Yes. A
Right.
singular chimp. He's the same chimp. He plays hockey, and then he skateboards, and then he snowboards.
Oh God! All right. You couldn't just go with one of the Has Fallen movies.
Absolutely not.
Can it
Alright.
be the classic King Kong versus all of the MVP trilogy? Can we watch?
You want to
4
watch
movies?
all of yeah. I mean, I'm down if you are, but
Dan,
I don't
what do you
think we
think?
want that.
I am not down.
Well, great. That's going to be totally fucking weird, which is perfect. Wunderbar. So, congratulations to the Citizen Kane of the Week, Orgazmo. If you've been
You earned it.
You earned it. You earned it, Orgazmo. If I like how Dan pitched us Orgazmo versus Bucky Larson, and he's like, not a kids movie.
Oh no, I don't want to watch
Neither-
most vertical primate. Daniel, I thought you'd
neither
be thrilled
one-
about chimps doing things.
I'm thrilled about King Kong. First
He's a
of all,
big,
fuck
he's
you.
a
What does
big
that
city
mean?
chimp. He's from the city.
Look,
Yeah, exactly.
look. I chose movies that had raunchy adult humor that I thought you guys would enjoy. They are a far cry.
Bullshit.
What? Excuse me.
I think he
Bucky
did.
Larson was torture.
I'll give him that. I think, but I
Bucky
think
Larson was a movie that I had to find a similar film
Sure.
to
Yeah.
Orgazmo,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
thought you guys would love, and like you did. So suck it.
Oh, love is a very big word for this.
All right, well, we're gonna have to fucking get through MVP thanks to you, so you can eat shit and die,
I think
Sean.
it's gonna be a delight.
I think it's going to
Okay.
be just
might
like
be-
Coach Carter. I think it's going to be amazing.
I imagine my girlfriend's gonna cry through the entire thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. And they both have like
that's my guess.
4.2 on Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb or whatever. Yeah,
Fantastic.
that's gonna be great.
They'll be a good pairing then.
Yeah.
They both
Um,
have a 4.2 rating, including the 1930s King Kong.
No. All the MVP movies.
Oh yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think that just about wraps it up. At this point, we're just going to do our what is it called? A call out?
It's a call to
call
action,
to
and,
action.
and it usually works really well when you announce that it's coming up first. It usually
Hey, keep on listening. don't stop the recording now.
Guys, no, don't skip ahead. Don't. Now we have to wait 30 seconds.
But yeah, we would very much appreciate it if you took the extra moment, besides watching or listening to this or watching this whole podcast, because we are on YouTube as well. Thank you for doing that. And, it means a lot and does a lot for us and helps us so much. If you do take that extra moment to hit those extra buttons, anything you can see, comment on things, like things, rate things.
No, not that button.
Hopefully well. Yeah, not the detonate button. Don't hit that one. Yeah. And if you want to share it, if you want to just like tell a friend about it, that's the best kind of social media that we're all about. Yeah. And that means a lot. You can follow us at Citizen Gain VS Podcast on Instagram. Mm-hmm. We also have a Twitter. We have a Twitter account.
Citizen Kane at Citizen Kane VS. You can see all of the socialist propaganda that I'm throwing up there. Go for it. Yeah, it's going to be starting up. Hopefully, we'll have some stuff on there by the time these episodes are coming out, helping us achieve our lifelong podcast goals of getting Carrie Elways on the show. # Come on, Carrie. Yeah, I'm following him. He's got some tweets. We should discuss in private. But
all right, he's a funny dude. I follow him on Instagram too. He's got some content. Come on, Carrie. Come on, Carrie.
# Come on, Carrie. So, help us achieve that goal. I guess Miranda, give us a hand. And then what else do we got? Anything else that I'm missing?
Well, I said this last week. If anybody out there knows Carrie Elways personally, and you can just like put the bug in his ear, that would be great.
Yeah, Miranda, if you know Carrie Elways, could you please get in contact with him? Thank you.
I wonder. We know people in the entertainment industry, but there might be like a 2 degrees of separation thing. Who knows?
I bet Simon Fong knows like fight people that worked on The Princess Bride that are probably still like with him or something, right?
That's what I'm saying.
So we get Simon Fong on the show first, find out if that's true, and then
and then ditch him and
and then we just never air that episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, rate, review, like, subscribe, send us an email or leave a comment in the section below if you're watching on YouTube, and feedback, questions, suggestions for movie pairings.
Pitch movies of your own.
It's all good.
We would love to do eventually with this thing. We hope to have a future where we get to do some audience picks. That'd be great because we're not the funniest people out there. Some of you are going to nail it. So thanks for listening first and foremost, and we love you very much for it. I think that's it though. Yeah, is that about it?
Be safe out there.
Yeah, be safe.
And
Citizen Kane versus.
Fucking Christ.